So this would technically mean that male Muto, female Muto, Muto Prime, and potential Queen Muto, if Legendary Studios decides to have female Muto or Queen Muto to portray Legendary Godzilla. So they would be screwed, because they'll be dealing with a Godzilla that is immune to their attack, to their EMP attack. The fight between Godzilla and male Muto would end with Godzilla ripping off or severely injuring male Muto, causing him to leave a massive blood trail. So Godzilla decides to switch his targets from humanity to the male Muto. So Godzilla would be following male Muto wherever he goes. Oh, I forgot. One more thing, heisei Godzilla would be at a height of 113 meters. He would be way more bigger than Godzilla when he was in his 2014 look. When 2014, his height was revealed 108 meters, he was the largest Godzilla, but until Shin Godzilla and Godzilla Earth took that title away from him. But now heisei Godzilla, in this universe, he's now 113 meters. He is way more massive than how he is in his own universe and compared to Legendary Godzilla. Well, when he was in his 2014 look. Anyways, heisei Godzilla would continue tracking down male Muto up until he gets to the Hawaii Island, or Hawaii. Oh, by the way, the main character's father would be alive. He would not be killed. He would be alive. Not dead. He would still be alive. The Hawaii battle would be different. heisei Godzilla would have actually gained the upper hand, that's due to him having a nuclear pulse. He would gain the upper hand and male Muto would be screwed. He would realize he cannot take on this Godzilla on his own. He needs backup. He needs to find the Queen Muto. Not Queen Muto. He needs to find female Muto. She's the only thing that could possibly turn the tides into his favor. heisei Godzilla would have also possibly ripped off one of male Muto's legs, causing male Muto to be severely injured, and possibly slowing him down a bit, making it easier for Godzilla to track him. The military will not be right on top of Godzilla. Instead, seeing how his aggressive behavior towards humanity is, they would keep their distance at, a safe distance by staying behind Godzilla. Godzilla would actually tolerate this as long as they're not, directly on top of him or attacking him. He would be fine as long as they don't make a move to try to kill him. And eventually, when we get to the Golden Gate Bridge scene, instead of the military attacking Godzilla, Godzilla would be the one to attack first. Seeing how there's a lot of military in his way, Godzilla decides to push through them by simply attacking them. He wouldn't be wasting all of his energy, but he would waste a little bit just so he can get to the male and female Muto. He would also destroy the Golden Gate Bridge with his atomic breath, but we could say that Sam, Amy, or Sam or whatever, and Kate still survive the attack, but with Godzilla Godzilla, leaving by simply destroying even more of the bridge. Eventually, Godzilla and male Muto would eventually fight, along with Queen Muto. I mean, not Queen Muto, female Muto, god damn it. Now, we see how Heisei Godzilla handles multiple opponents. In the past, he has shown to struggle when it comes to multiple opponents. Like, for example, Godzilla versus Mothra Battle for Earth. He struggled against both Mothra and Batra. Godzilla vs. Destroyer. He struggled to handle the multiple smaller forms of Destroyer. Now, would he struggle the same way? Now, would he struggle go against the male and female Muto? Probably. He would probably struggle a little bit. Female Muto would have learned that her EMP pulse would not work on Godzilla, so they'll have to switch to Plan B. Their main goal and priority is to make sure that the survival of their species is important. And knowing that Godzilla would be a threat to their babies, they'll have to try to keep him away from the nest. Now, Heisei Godzilla has shown to be pretty smart a few times in his movies. Would he figure out that male and female Muto are actually, in fact, protecting their nest? Yes. He would figure it out and realize that there's a massive amount of radiation because of the nuke. Unfortunately for our human characters, they will not get the chance to disarm the bomb and save the city and possibly millions of lives who are still trapped in the city. Godzilla would have fired his atomic breath at the nest and destroying it completely, meaning our main character and his wife, 4 Brody and L Brody, would not survive. Their son, on the other hand, would survive along with his grandfather, and the city would be leveled with the nuclear explosion. Not only that, it would give Godzilla even more power, and this will not only affect the city, but the later episodes of Legacy of Monsters. Godzilla would have beaten the living crap out of male Muto, not showing no sign of mercy, and eventually grabbed him and ripped him in half. Female Muto, realizing that Heisei Godzilla is, in fact, too powerful for her to handle on her own, she decides to retreat, possibly to find Muto Prime and awaken him. But unfortunately, Godzilla fires his atomic breath, a possible supercharged atomic breath, completely decapitating one of her legs. And Godzilla beats female Muto up the same way how GMK Godzilla did in Giant Monsters All Out Attack with Baragon. Instead of the famous kiss of death, Heisei Godzilla would have grabbed female Muto by the head and crushed her head. And knowing that the city was pretty well destroyed and millions of people possibly died, Heisei Godzilla would not stick around to destroy what's left of the city. Instead, he would move on to rest for a bit. Now for Godzilla Aftershock. Oh yeah, and by the way, let's just say the Russell family, like Mark Russell, Emma Russell, and Madison Russell, they would still survive somehow. So, yeah. Mark Russell will have more of a deeper hatred for Heisei Godzilla than he did with the Legendary Godzilla, so yeah. Anyways, moving on to Godzilla Aftershock. About a few months after the events of 2014, Heisei Godzilla senses another threat after destroying a small little village or town or whatever. And he eventually does find the remains of Dagon. And knowing that he and Dagon are not in fact the same name, but they not in fact the same species, they do look similar and have very similar except Heisei's abilities are far more stronger and more powerful and more dangerous and devastating. And after knowing that Muto Prime killed Dagon, Heisei Godzilla would want to avenge his fellow Gojira brother, or Godzilla, or whatever. And so he tracks down Prime, and they have their battle. Just like male and female Muto Prime will be dealing with a Godzilla that is far more powerful, far more dangerous, and immune to his EMP attacks. This doesn't mean that Muto Prime can't land in a few good hits at Heisei Godzilla. Muto Prime would definitely land a few good hits at Heisei Godzilla, but not enough to severely stun or weaken Godzilla. Godzilla would have killed Muto Prime by ripping off his two larger legs and started slamming him down on the ground multiple times, and then firing his atomic breath at Muto Prime's head, killing him immediately. And just like that, Godzilla wins once again, and he leaves to go recover for a bit. Now moving on to Legacy of Monsters. Instead of being quiet for the majority of the series, Heisei Godzilla would not be quiet. He would still be attacking cities and killing millions and millions of lives all around the world, but at the same time he would also get bigger. Now I know that in King of the Monsters, he reached to his massive size of 119.9 meters. Now how big would Heisei Godzilla be? He would be 125, no, 124 meters. He would be way more massive than Legendary Godzilla was. He would just be more bigger, more stronger, and more aggressive. Monarch will be trying to do whatever they can to try to discover why this Godzilla is attacking cities and why does he have such a big grudge against humanity. But at the same time, and like I said before, in 2014, the events that happened in San Francisco would have a huge impact on the series. And here is why.